All right, people, we're back. Full staff. Ladies soccer on the TV. But whatever, it's still soccer. We like me and Sam like soccer. We're those kind of weirdos kind of thing. I can't get over that Argentina game. Fox sue me. I don't give a shit. We're going to talk about that Argentina-England game. That was phenomenal. Almost an agreement at gmail.com. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go to the website, almostagreement.com. Check out what we're going there. Go to your favorite podcast provider. Like, friend, share, follow. Text to your friends. Do what you do to support the show. We're going to keep doing shows. We got stuff going on. Early voting started yesterday for you guys listening on release date. Sam's over here pouring drinks all over my... never mind, I have a plant peeing. Anyway, great intro. You're welcome. We're going to do a show. I'll shut up. We'll get there in a second. Hi, buddy.
Hey.
Thank you, by the way. I appreciate you keeping the animals alive. They all seem more or less healthy. It took a couple days for the dog to stop being mad at me, but he always gets mad when I leave.
Yeah.
Like, he gets mad when I leave for the day. And I come home, and he's like, where have you been all day? And it's like, I don't know. Working so you can eat, motherfucker.
It took me a minute to find him when I first got here. He was under your boy's bed.
Yeah, that's his
I went
new
to,
spot.
all the rooms. I was, calling him. I'm like, where the hell is he?
That's his new spot. He likes to hide out.
Surprised he can climb through that damn hole.
Yeah. But I mean,
that's
part of it. That's part of it, though. Like, I try to that's dogs. Like, dogs are dead animals. They're used to that. They want to be in a pile, in a corner, in a dark whatever, piled up on top of stuff, and in between and whatever. They don't open space is scary to them when they're sleeping, which makes total sense. So anyway, yeah, early voting started this morning, Friday the 17th. For any of you guys listening, date wise, things are hot and heavy and exciting, and I don't even know exactly where to begin. Other than to say, I'm intrigued. I'm hopeful. Apparently, there was a mayoral forum out here in the West Hills neighborhood somewhere that both Bo and Betsy decided to attend. And the crowd was apparently majority Bo supporters, which, generally speaking, that's probably not that surprising, I guess, if you think about it for a little bit, because it's like, well, the Republicans never show up to these things anyway, so their fan base maybe not showing up as much because they're not used to their candidates coming to them. But it apparently got pretty raucous. Note to the organizers of it: never, ever, 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 ever hand a crowd member a microphone. It's just bad news. Never going to work out. If they want to ask questions, you do it the League of Women Voter style. You write it on a piece of paper. Right, you hand it to the moderator. The moderator reads the question.
Yeah.
And so there were a few speeches mixed in with questions from the audience sake, a bunch of attempted gotchas on Bo's Venezuela connections, whatever. And so it's very interesting as this maps out, is because I mean, I don't know, a decade ago, pre-Trump, I think the Venezuela connection for Bo would be a pretty hard hurdle moving forward. I mean, he was a Teamster at the time. It was a Teamsters event, or the Teamsters were participating in whatever this thing was, as a show of solidarity for the workers of Venezuela or whatever. And so it was sort of in his job because he was a Teamster. He wasn't a Teamster. I don't think he was a worker that was a union member. I think he was a union rep. He worked for the Teamsters for the union to help the members and stuff. And so as a leader, it's important for him to be out there doing things. And so I think there's part of it.
I'd be tempted. They're like, hey, all expenses paid, trip down to Venezuela. I'm like, okay.
Right. I mean, it could be fun and interesting and exciting. And it's at the time, did we know that Maduro was a psychopath murderer, drug kingpin? I don't know. Was he actually ever the drug kingpin part, at least? I don't know. We don't know. We really don't know.
I haven't heard anything about the trial in a while.
Because it doesn't, because we kidnapped a foreign head of state and got away with it.
He and his wife.
It's fucking crazy.
Right.
But
that was the raucousness.
But so anyway, but again, my point being is, I think a decade ago, a pre-Trump America, that might have been a disqualifier for even a Democratic candidate, even a more progressive Democratic candidate, being like, dude, we understand that you're passionate about your ideals, but like that's a little too close to the socialism communism thing. Like that's a little too on the nose. We can't have you running as a communist.
Yeah.
Which, he's currently like, again, he apparently addressed it in a video. I haven't actually got to see the video. I saw it in my feed, but I didn't stop to watch the video because I was not into sitting and watching him talk for 5 minutes or whatever it was. But he has addressed it and put a little bit more nuance on it. But it doesn't, again, 6 or half dozen. It doesn't change. On the politics side of that question, it doesn't change anything. I don't think there are a lot of people that are going to see that video that Bo put out explaining himself that it's going to change their mind. They're like, "Oh, I was into it, but with this Venezuela thing, I couldn't do it. But now that he explains it, I'm good with it." I don't know that there's a lot of people that are going to play that. You know what I mean? Like my point being is like even moderate Democrats here locally, not insignificant ones in the local political scene, don't seem to be too off-put by this situation with the Bo Hawk thing. And part of that is the conclusion that we have come to over 1,000 episodes or whatever it is we've done at this point, is it's, the Democrats in Knoxville or Knox County, countywide, the Democrats countywide here, at this point, they don't care. You know what I mean? It could be
anybody but a Republican.
It could be Lenin, for fuck's sake. And they'd be like, yep. It could be Lenin with everything we know about Lenin. And they'd be like, yep. Because good God, I can't do another one of these fucking psycho Republicans.
Yeah.
And so the real question is, and I think there's room for conversation here. Does this Venezuela situation and other stuff move that middle set, that significant majority of people who voted in the Republican primary who didn't vote for Betsy Henderson? Are they automatically going to Betsy? Because I think there's a lot of people that if it was ranked choice, Betsy would have been number 3. So I don't know. I don't like those. That's the question. Is this Venezuela thing? Is all the mudslinging that the Henderson campaign has done and done well at? It is, and not that Bo hasn't just kind of put it out there on a silver platter. That's the funny thing to me. It's like, come on, Dems. This is like, Bo seems like a nice guy. It's not a personal attack. He is not a good candidate. Like, how did you not know about this first? This should have been like, if you were serious about him as a candidate, you should have known this already. And I think you should have disclosed it from the get-go. I'm Bo Hawk. I'm running for mayor. Here's some stuff that the Republicans are going to say are bad about me.
I don't know. I don't know if I would preemptively bring that up.
I mean, unless you truly thought it was so buried in this day and age,
right?
Because the backroom Knox guy. I don't know him personally. I haven't met him yet. Again, I still assume he's a guy, but like I've talked to him a few times, either direct messages or through comments on his posts and stuff like that. He seems like a fairly intelligent person. He found it, and he didn't go to Venezuela to find it. Like he's a keyboard jockey like the rest of us, and he found it. And I'm pretty sure I should probably reach out to him and try to verify this. I'm pretty sure he's the one that broke it.
It's a unique name, so it's probably not hard just to Google it or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. And so, and it's again that's my point. It's like if it's something that you really think it might slide under the radar, then sure, don't bring it up. But I don't think you've got to know this is going to come up. And it looks worse to me that you're like, well, I was young and dumb 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it was. It's like, you were 30, motherfucker. Yes, you were young and dumb, but not really. I mean, that's not an excuse at 30. It's an excuse at 22.
Was it 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah. Like, young and dumb is an excuse when you're 22. You're still young and dumb at 30, but it's not an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
It's now, you need to own the fact that you're young and dumb. That's how you fix that shit. And so, again, to me, like, if you just preempted it a little bit, I think a lot of this would have gone down. The Republicans would have still been screaming from the mountaintops about it, but it's less impactful if it's not a surprise.
Right.
And I think that's where, I think that there's a number of things. I mean, again, I don't know. I've talked to a few party people with the Democrats about different stuff and my ideas on how to beat Betsy because, I'm not pretending like I'm a Betsy fan on the show at all. But they don't seem like, apparently what little bit of teeth has come out in Bo in the last couple of weeks has been Bo personally, not the campaign. The campaign strategy was to be nice and take the high road. And it's like,
sometimes that works, but
my idea wasn't a low road, but it was a little bit of a low hanging fruit move. My umbrage joke. I mean, it's a low-hanging fruit move, but it's not like, because apparently, I don't know, again, because like what's the hit on Betsy? She's fiscally retarded, apparently, and she owns the fact that she's fiscally retarded, and that's the hit on her. You don't say fiscally retarded because I just said retarded like 5 times now, and I'm rethinking my last couple of paragraphs. But she's again, like she either is fiscally stupid, or she is lying intentionally about the fiscal situation of Knox County. I haven't seen a lot of big hits in that direction, and that's not low road stuff. That's like, hey guys, you understand that there's nothing stopping her from saying this. Like her stupid, the promise not to raise taxes thing that she put out.
Right.
Like she just created this, she went on Canva and made it a parchment-looking paper and typed out that I promise as your mayor I won't raise taxes, and then signed it. Like memorandum of a promise of memorandum to not raise taxes or some stupid shit.
Was it notarized?
And it looks all right. It makes it looks all fancy and whatever. And it's like, you guys understand that she can just say that,
right?
And she could even try to do it, but she did. Like the thing to me, the biggest hit to me on Betsy is that she can be honest. Like she could be being honest about this, and that is her intent. But even if it is, she is acting like she could actually stop it if Commission does otherwise. Now, Commission might be a fucking shit show too, so who knows?
That's what I was just thinking. I think Trump just did it with something to where she just lets the council put through the raise, and she doesn't veto it. So she basically, I guess, without her signing it. And I think Lee's done it a couple times.
Well, that's state.
So where it's one way to kind of like keep your
state-wise.
It's like, right, well, I didn't sign it, but I just allowed it to go through.
I think Commission in Knox County, it must be signed by the mayor.
Okay.
If it is refused to sign it, I don't know exactly what happens with it. If it's a veto, it goes back to Commission.
Right.
And then it has to get to a veto proof like 8.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like it is at the state and federal level that
it maybe just be a neglect one. Yeah.
So that's one way she's like, well, I didn't raise it. That was the Commission.
Well, and the question is going to be, well, there's 2 questions because at the end of the day, the Commission does sort of have the final word on the budget. We got to see that this year because Mayor Jacobs did not put this school board cut in it. Did not put Did Jacobs? I don't remember who did Commission did the cut to engineering and roads that moved it over to solid waste. No, that was whatever. I don't remember who did that one. But Commission, on a lark, for, Commission terms at least, pulled $4 million out of Knox County schools. I don't know if Commission is allowed to add to the mayor's budget. They can be like, oh, hey, Mayor, we see that you did this. We feel like we need another $10 million here, because the Commission does have to, like, once the Commission approves the budget, they then have a follow-up meeting where they have to approve a tax increase if the budget requires it. But I don't know if that's automatic. Like, they say, okay, you know what, we need $25 million more. We're going to add $25 million to the mayor's budget because the mayor presented a balanced budget. We're going to add to it. And then it goes back to the mayor's desk. And then what happens if the mayor refuses to sign it, but Commission forces it through? Then Commission has to go vote on the tax increase, because that's a separate thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Passing the budget is part A. If the budget is passed and requires a tax increase, that's vote B. And so technically, the only thing that Betsy has promised not to do is sign a tax increase. So she could sign off on an increased budget and then let Commission steamroll a tax increase through, and she could be like, I didn't do it, I guess. But again, still, whatever. That's a lot of rigmarole. For the point being, she can say that all she wants. It doesn't mean she can do it. Because the other part, too, is it doesn't matter. Legally speaking, it doesn't matter if the budget cannot function legally by law without raising taxes. The county has to raise the taxes. It's not a question. Like, it's one of those, like the city of Knoxville right now, the city charter still has citywide elections for city councilors. Even though the state law that went into effect a couple years ago requires that city council elections be districted.
Right.
And only people in the district can vote in those things. And when the city council met and did a charter review thing and went through all the little rigmarole and process to then make a ballot item so that the city residents can vote on whether they want to change the charter to this, it didn't pass. But it doesn't matter. State law supersedes it. State law says these elections have to be districted. The charter doesn't match. If the votes weren't there, doesn't matter. And the budget is the same situation. The votes don't have to be there. It is I don't know exactly how the mechanics would work if commission and the mayor's office refuse to raise taxes, refuse to go through the voting process to raise our county property tax with a deficit budget. Whether the state comes in, I don't know what the actual mechanics of that law are, but we'll get a tax increase on the other side of it, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
Which I guess again, Betsy could say, "I didn't sign that. State made us do it."
Right.
And then we can all say, "Yeah, but it's
That's what I was trying to think of. There's ways that you can kind of deflect. Like, well, I didn't actually raise it. The state made us do it.
Well, I mean, I guess I should be excited about it because if she does win the mayor's race, then I'll have a better shot at beating her because I'll run my entire campaign on. Remember how she told you she wasn't going to raise taxes? And she did.
She let it happen.
She let it happen. She promised. She promised. She promised. Here's her little fucking bullshit document that she created on Canva to do it.
It's memorandum of understanding.
Because those hold tight for a long time.
Right.
Oh, why you say that? Yeah, so that was a little fireworks show that was earlier this week. I'm going to go back in time. I did do a little mini clip. I did like a 12-minute episode last week when I got back in town because I had to share the unexciting crossing of the new Donald J. Trump Bridge over that French Broad.
That's right, yeah.
I did see a post where somebody had made a little handwritten poster and stuck it to it that said "Release the Epstein Files."
Yeah,
and that's my assumption. Like I said, that I think I was talking to you on the phone, or we were texting back and forth about it. I was like, I was excited yet concerned about crossing that bridge because I assume there's going to be stuff like that indefinitely, and different levels of stuff like that. Different people are going to stop by and do different things. Of mild the defacement of property or mild vandalism and stuff like that.
Maybe.
Pretty regularly. I think it's going to be a pretty regular thing. Maybe Antifa will go out and stop traffic on it one day just for funsies. That'd be an interesting news story. It'd make national news. And
the original story I saw on it was interesting because I guess it was named after somebody, but they found someone that it was like her great-grandmother or whatever. And I think there's like a sister bridge really close to it as well, but both of them were named after like the husband and wife.
I didn't know that.
But she was disappointed that the name was changing because it was her namesake basically. It was her grandmother's legacy.
Right. The bridge next to it is way shorter. It used to be an old trestle bridge. They just rebuilt that one a couple of years ago.
Okay. And they mentioned there was another bridge, and I want to say it was still named after Swan or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know
what it used to be.
I never
called.
paid that much attention to those things, and so it's just I don't know. I think to me, part A, it's what the
And a couple federal people showed up, like Scott Bessent, I think, showed up for it.
Yeah, Timmy was there, I believe.
Timmy, yeah, he was there.
I'm sure there's some other prominent what's her faces, but to me, it's just and I know it's not. This is not even a specifically Trump thing. I don't give a shit about the Trump part of it. It's this is what we spend our money on,
right?
This is what's I guess the dichotomy of my adventure on that drive on 40 was I go through the mountains on 40 and through that whole construction site where it's fell off into the river and all that crazy that's going on in the mountain pass back there. And the millions and millions of dollars that are getting spent and will continue to get spent to get it back open to what it was before, and decades of probably end up being a decade of work. Or we can go reference our Alcoa Highway project that's never going to end, and we're talking about spending X number of dollars on expanding 40 through Knoxville and all the different stuff we're talking about spending money on. Now I know there are different pools of money. I know it's not exactly the same thing, but
I think the 40 thing's all on the north. Well, not sure where the state line is. I don't know if it's I'm assuming it's not a 50-50 split. But I want to say they've slated that for fall of 28 maybe.
I mean, it's moving along pretty well. It's crazy, how deep it is and how
yeah, it's crazy to imagine what it was and how much is literally just gone, washed away.
Yeah. So, but let me say, I don't know. maybe compile a couple thousand, signs and ceremonies and take that cash and, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure what county it's in. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't think it was Trump. I want to say it was named after Charlie Kirk, but it used to be like the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Highway.
Charlie Kirk's more important.
There were some people that were disappointed about that because they're like, it used to be this, and they kind of feel like,
I mean, it's
especially
not really
Vietnam
memorial.
veterans because they weren't really respected when they came back.
It's not a particularly good memorial if it doesn't stick around.
Yeah.
And it's also, Charlie Kirk, okay, fine, it's a memorial, replacing a memorial, but, like, Trump's not even dead yet.
Right.
Like, is there a Bill Clinton bridge somewhere in Arkansas?
Probably. Because he was governor also there.
That's true. I mean, when did that stretch of 40 get renamed the Albert Gore Sr.? So there's a stretch of 40 right in there that's Albert Gore Sr. Highway.
Is it?
And then there's Martha Sundquist Forest in there. There's all sorts of name bullshit.
All right.
And it's like, oh, you're the governor's wife. You need a state forest named after you. That's actually inside the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
Maybe she did something else. I'm not sure. Don't know much about her.
I don't like. It's just like I don't like. It's the broad strokes of this is like I don't care. Like who cares? It's a fucking bridge. It's a fucking stretch of roadway. Like all the little scammy things we do all the time to raise money. Like those are at least raising money. Like at least we have like the Adopt a Highway program,
right?
Where the great episode of Friends, you remember, or not Friends, Seinfeld, where Kramer adopted a section of the highway.
I don't remember that one.
Well, like the way it's supposed to work is you're just basically putting a donation in, and then that helps pay for the cleaning crew that goes out there and cleans the roads and stuff like that. Well, Kramer took it as
I thought you're supposed to be responsible for a cleanup.
It's your pay. You're just paying for it, or I don't think you're allowed to even do it yourself if you have the right crew and equipment.
I mean, we did it here locally for a place I used to work.
Where you guys went out one day and did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least like once a year we went out and did it.
Well, Kramer thought
maybe the city still does it too, but
and so he painted over the line so it went from a 4-lane to a 2-lane, so you had nice wide, comfy lanes.
I think I vaguely remember.
Great
that
episode.
One. Yeah.
Anyway, but that's a fundraiser or at least a public service naming thing,
right?
And it's like, but like what? I don't know. Maybe it's the ultra capitalist of me, and maybe maybe it's another thing I'm disappointed in Trump in. It's like Trump, you're the capitalist guy. Like, no, you're not. You're the fucking ego guy. But anyway, it's like, where's the value and what's the value add here? Like, what's the value add? Does it make them road like? I mean, probably. I take that back. You know what? Bad example. You're right. I'm wrong. I'm 100% wrong. There are some fucking lunatics. They're going to drive in from Arkansas to come pull off to the side of the road and take pictures with themselves in the Donald J. Trump Bridge. I'm wrong. You're right. It's going to be good for it'll be good for East Tennessee tourism.
Sure.
It's that George Carlin big fucking thing.
Big fucking thing.
Yeah. Actually, I already know it. Like Hornbecker, it might have been Hornbeck, because one of the guys locally went and pulled off and took a selfie with the sign. And he's local, so it's not really a tourism thing for him, but like,
right.
He put forth the effort to doing so, and so I guess some of those other loonies will do the same, and a handful of those will be from somewhere else where they stay at a hotel and eat some lunch or whatever. So I stand corrected because it's right next to a rest stop.
Is it? Okay.
So you can stop at the rest stop.
Let's say, is there even like a small town really nearby?
It's right at Newport. It's the Newport exit. It's right after, or it's between the river and the Newport exit.
Okay.
We did the hot springs on the way out. That's always a fun drive.
I haven't done that in a while.
The Asheville side is rough.
The road?
Yeah, that stretch coming up, I guess that's 26 that goes up to Johnson City.
Yeah.
Like that stretch it's rough in there. And it's just the rough end of Asheville. I don't think it's because it's not construction or anything. It's just it's a rough hole. Like this didn't get a lot of traffic, I don't think, normally. It's just getting more now. I think that's what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like
it's like people live there and then people just kind of driving to and from Hot Springs from Asheville.
Well, but it's now that there's more traffic coming down from Johnson City because people are doing the bypass and all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But yeah, so I got to do that. And then the other one was this interesting let's see if I can find it. Here it is. The Cabela Temple thing was over. So this is stuff we should have covered last week if we did on a regular show. The city has a data center moratorium while they figure out how to rezone it to manage. And I think Jesse made a good point off air when we were talking a couple weeks ago. Data centers are in rural areas for a couple of reasons. You're 100% right. They're in rural areas because they get less local pushback.
Right.
But the other part, too, is you're looking at, I don't know, how many acres do you think some of these data centers want to be?
50.
You know, and I think in Knox County, I don't care where you are in Knox County, I think you're looking at least $25,000 an acre.
Right.
Or more. Where you can get out into some of these rural areas and be paying $5,000 an acre.
That definitely probably factors into it as well.
You know, and it's like, so the idea that one of these mega data centers would want to come into Knox County, or especially the city of Knoxville, like where would you build one? There's no land in the city of Knoxville to build a giant mega data center.
About straw plains?
You know, and so moral of the story is I don't think it's likely that a large scale one would move to Knoxville anyway. But now they can't for a little while, regardless. But it's the big one from the 2 weeks ago was the North Waterfront District. So we talked about TIFs. We've talked about pilots a bunch of times on and off. We've talked about economic development zones or districts. So we have a number of them around town. South Waterfront District is one, for example, with all the construction and added and all the stuff there. The Old City, they created the baseball one. Yeah. For that included the Old City and some other stuff like that. And so what these development districts do by design is they say, okay, if we do a TIF program, not a pilot, but a TIF program, because pilots is direct incentive for the pilots are a direct incentive for the developer. Pilot says, hey, what you would have paid us in taxes, you can put towards your loan.
Yeah.
What you would have paid the difference in taxes, you put towards your loans. That's the pilot. So what the TIFs are is what you would have paid into taxes, or you will still pay the same into taxes, but those taxes will be spent in the district that we created. So for the baseball stadium, for example, the baseball stadium is the spend. So any of the developments going on, they're about to break ground. They just finished the design review board for the first project. So they had the stadium project and the buildings and the apartments that are attached to it. The first outside of that, outside of the original project apartment complex is set to break ground late this year, first of next year.
Okay.
And they just went through their design review meeting. They're getting their ducks in a row. They're about to go start doing all their permit requests and blah, 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 blah. And so that piece of land that's probably like a couple grand a year in property tax right now is going to jump up to many, many more of that, but that many, many more goes into the city's coffers, but can only be spent there. And so part of the deal with the baseball stadium is that's where it can be spent. It can be spent on the loan payment for the baseball stadium.
Well, they spend it on just general infrastructure.
Right. It would be general infrastructure, just stuff just stuff in the district that the city would pay for. So
I'm trying to think what all you can spend money on outside of infrastructure.
Not a lot. I mean, it'd be I guess like some services that go into there, like, you know, trash pickup, like it'd help offset some of the cost of trash pickup or firefighter service or whatever.
That's all covered by the city anyway.
Right, but it's still, I don't know exactly what limitations they have, but most of it would be infrastructure. Most of it would be roads, new lights, pedestrian sidewalks, millions of dollars of miles of sidewalks, stuff like that. Would be what I would assume most of it is. But again, the baseball stadium being a fun example because the stadium is the infrastructure.
Right.
And so for this apartment complex that's getting built, when it gets built and the new tax comes in, that tens of $15,000, $20,000 or whatever year in property tax that is increased will go to pay off the loan for the stadium. Okay. So the city is working on, they have asked Planning Commission to create a North Waterfront District, which is essentially between Henley Street and Third Creek, which is more or less the university. Which is what's weird, because the university is fully developed. None of it is property taxed. So what's the point? And so the only non-university property in there is that neighborhood that's behind Church Street Methodist Church, between Henley Street and the train tracks for campus.
Yeah.
Right? Which
they're trying to bulldoze that or whatever.
Which a UT third party has bought and is planning to build some stuff into, which that would go into. So that increase in value would go into this TIF. And then the other one is the entertainment district. So when that entertainment district gets built, that's a land lease, and so the property, the actual buildings and whatnot on the property will be taxable. So even though it's on UT property, it's taxable property because it's a land lease. It's not UT property. The buildings aren't UT property.
Yeah, the
land is. And so I was thinking about that. It's like, okay, I get what you're doing, city. No, I don't. The city is getting the taxes either way. There's no change to it. It's not like the city is doing this fancy maneuver to make sure that they can bring in these taxes to their coffers so they can spend money on the city of Knoxville. What they're doing is doing this maneuver so that they can bring in these taxes and spend it on the university. There's no other way to look at it, as far as I'm concerned. Because they have to spend it on infrastructure within the district. So that means they're going to be doing funding KUB wastewater upgrades to the area so that UT or these developers don't. Because like some of these like if you're doing a commercial development, sometimes you have to do the build out for the wastewater and the water. Where it's not just like a house where you're just running the sewer line to the street and KUB hooks up to it. It's like if you have like, especially like in a more like a larger commercial setting and you have a larger diameter pipe and stuff like that, sometimes the developer has to run that for a while until it can get to the correct place, or KUB will meet them halfway, or some different stuff like that will get built into the system. But it's like, what infrastructure needs do we need to put down near the stadium? Oh yeah, the city's helping buy this fucking footbridge. And so this will be a way for the city to not have to argue about where that money's going. We have to spend it down here, and that footbridge is going to be one of the things they spend it on. Wider sidewalks for the students are going to be one of the things they spend it on. Infrastructure needs right there is what they're going to spend it on. So the University of Tennessee is going out of their way to steal land, basically, from commercial renters and from commercial landlords in and around the university. Or around the university. They're going out of their way to put this thing together to take away from the city of Knoxville. I don't care how you fucking slice it. Suck a dick out there, people. The reality of what this is doing, this is UT trying to maximize their income off of their game days. They're tired of looking out. Don DePlowman and Randy Boyd are tired of going out, like hanging out at Jig and Reel and seeing all these restaurants and bars and hotels down there getting packed and full for their game days. And they don't see a cut of that. So they're making their own. That is exactly what they're doing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not up for discussion. Fact. Full stop.
Case closed.
So now the city is making sure that the taxes generated by the thing that they are doing goes to get spent on them. Instead of, I don't know, maybe on any of the other millions of projects that the city has to deal with. That tax money doesn't get to go to homeless, some of the homeless unhoused care programs or any of the other city infrastructure that needs to get worked on that needs funding. Nope, this can't touch that. It has to stay here.
Right.
And it's so fucking gross. And nobody's talking about it because this was now 2 weeks old, hasn't been brought back up. It is ugly. It is stupid. I need to call Matt and yell at him, and I need to call some city councilors. Like, no, fuck those guys. The university sucks. No, it doesn't. I love the university. Chill out, people. But this is dumb. Like we're bending over, like we're going out of our way to put more money into them. And nobody seems to be even like thinking about it. Considering
business.
Like, why do we need to do this? Because you know what, city, you could just leave it the way it is and let that city flow into the regular coffers and then do the same investments anyway.
Fix the stormwater. We just had that nasty flooding.
Yeah.
There's sorts of people that lost their car like twice because I guess a couple months ago, same thing happened.
Let's go talk to our friends at Next Level who are about ankle deep in their brewery.
Oh, and they get affected by it? I know it said North Knoxville.
There's a couple of different spots on Broadway. I mean, the Fellini Kroger right there always floods real bad, even though it's got that giant spillway right in front of it. It still floods all the time up there. But yeah, it flooded again a little further down towards town at the Broadway and Central intersection. Like me out here, us out here at North Shore and Kings Pike, Union Jack, stuff like that.
Yeah.
it doesn't have to rain much at all, and it's like 1.5 feet deep on half of North Shore.
Right.
Every time. Like, it looks like it's going to rain and it starts flooding there. And there's a fucking creek 100 yards away that's 7 feet lower than ground level.
I don't even know where the closest stormwater drain is there.
It's right there.
It's almost like there's not one.
Fourth Creek is right there.
Is that right in front of like the barber shop?
It's right behind. It is the
not the creek. The actual like stormwater drain.
Oh, there's a drain right there where it floods. It just doesn't go.
Oh, okay.
It can't handle like there's either no capacity in it or it's clogged up with crap all the time.
Yeah.
But it just like Fourth Creek is right there.
Right.
And it doesn't get there. Like it like I was there today, and literally it was flooded out today in that storm we had this afternoon. And I'd gone back and thrown something in the dumpster, and I'm looking down at Fourth Creek while it's raining, and it's 6 feet below ground level. And there's a foot of water 6-7 feet above ground, 100 yards away, because I don't know why they can't figure out how to get that to drain correctly. Like, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
We've also been fighting with that landlord about repaving that parking lot and putting some markings in it, because that parking lot's got there's no entrance. It's all entrance.
Right.
And that really fucks people up. And it would help both ways. Like, I would like that. Ooh, I might need to make some phone calls on that. That's a very cheap fix that the city could do. If we can get the landlord to set an entrance, we could probably get the city to just put that white box with the X on it. Just don't block the entrance exit.
White blocks with an X.
Yeah, like there's a couple of them around town I've seen them where it's like, do not block the intersection.
Yeah.
So like basically it's going to treat the exit of the parking lot as a road.
Yeah.
And it says when you're stopped at the stoplight and you're way back here, don't stop in this area so that people can still get in and out. That would be a very easy fix there.
Maybe.
I mean, it's not going to be a great fix. It's not going to be awesome.
All right.
But it would help a lot. I'm going to make a call. This came to me just now. I haven't had any rum in a couple weeks. It's just...
Surprised that one power pole's still up and going, because I swear it's been leaning for years. Because so many people have run into it.
Oh, yeah.
Right there in the parking lot.
Well, what's funny about it is it's... that one is being held up by another pole across the street.
Is there a tension line connected to it?
There's a pole, off of that pole, there's a tension line that runs straight across to another pole that's then got an anchor in it. Because is that the one that has the sign that the trucks always hit? Is that off that same pole? That might be off the same pole. That might be what it is. That's the pole that's got the intersection, what the turn lane, what the format of the intersection is that the trucks hit all the time. I know you've been in there where the trucks cruise by and hit the shit out of that thing.
I don't think I've seen anybody hit it. I see it like waving when it's really windy.
Oh, I've seen. It's not okay. Let me correct myself. I don't know if I've seen anybody hit it, but I hear it every time.
Right.
Because I'll be sitting there talking to somebody or doing something. It's, I got to work there tomorrow too. If you're bored, you want to come hang out and help me.
Might be in the area.
Manage my hangover.
Start drinking water.
But I'm burning records and not in the fun like gangster, Bernie Madoff sort of way. I've got files that we don't need to keep anymore, and I'm tired of storing them. So I'm trying to sort through a bunch of our old files that we're
what you need to shred
and get them shredded, and or I might just take them home, bring them back here, and do a little bonfire or something like that.
Yeah.
Sacrifice them to the gods. Thor. But anyway, I don't know. I go over this. I've gotten into arguments with everybody about this. I feel like I'm the crazy one, but I know I'm right. Same thing. It was so funny. Jesse was talking about it on their podcast today. One of the Compass members who's in their special private Facebook group had asked the group. Yeah, I can't remember what. It was something that went through this week. Hold on, let me double check this week's. It was the What's Up Knoxville. It's a group from Pittsburgh that it's a consulting group from Pittsburgh that the city of Knoxville hired to do outreach about the update to the master plan. And so all these different things. It's been going on for a while. They actually participated in Holler, which is really cool. They ran a derby car and a booth, and got to hang out with my friend Share Ball and set it up and shit. It was just good. It was a good time all over. So I mean, it's long and short of it. It's like, hey, what do you like about Knoxville? What do you don't like? What do you think we could fix? And it's stuff within the purview of what the city can do, mostly in zoning and permitting and land use kind of stuff. So it's not about do we need more buses? Do you want to see mass transit? Do you want to go metro? Those aren't that kind of questions they're asking. It's do you think we have good use of the land that we have? How do you think we could do better with different places? And apparently they did there was a study attached to it that this group put out that was there is less than 15% of the land in the city of Knoxville is developable, which sounds like a lot to me, but also sounds like a little. I don't know. It's a weird number because what it is it's truly vacant property. It may have
ones that have like a old warehouse.
Right. It may have a building on it, but it's not an occupied building being used.
That is counted or not counted?
That is counted as developable.
Okay.
But what it doesn't count is, say, I'm trying to think of an example. I don't know. Like the best one I could think of would be, I don't know, up on Broadway right before you get to 640, where the Kmart used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, that is a big giant strip mall that still has a couple of businesses in it, but it's not fully occupied. It's kind of run down, that kind of stuff. The Kmart's gone. They don't have the anchor anymore, that kind of thing.
Right.
That is not developable by their definition because it is there and has stuff in it, but everybody looking at it goes, it's time to tear this down and build something new here.
Yeah. It was like an Office Depot or something like that.
Yeah, there was an Office Depot and a Kmart, and
there's a Buddy's there.
one was a bar for a little while and some different stuff. Anyway, and so the colloquy, the Compass member had asked about, because one of the things that this is an update to, the last time the city of Knoxville had a master plan update was like 20 years ago, which they did, which that one 20 years ago was a joint city-county master plan. Because that's the last time there was real metro talk in Knoxville, where the conversation about, it's not about whether we want or don't want to go metro. It's inevitable. So maybe we should think about it that way.
Yeah.
And so the prior master plan, and so I didn't realize this, but Knox County just a few years ago did theirs to get off of the joint one. And so we're actually, as much as I'm arguing metro every day, all day, we are actively separating even more. Not really, just from zoning use at least. We're separating even more, even though it's the Joint Planning Commission that is the same body that oversees city and county codes, zoning, and stuff like that, review committee. But
is it a way to preempt the metro talk?
No, not really. It's just it's what it really is it's a way to. It's a way to solidify that we are different entities. So for politics, it's better for the politicians that are in control currently, because it says we're not them, they're not us. We do things our way, they do things their way.
Yeah.
Even though the same body oversees the things that all of us are doing or whatever. And so I'm still on Metro, and I will, I'll put it out this way. If you will agree to be my treasurer and there's a tax increase in Knox County, I will run for mayor of Knox County in 4 years. The entirety of my campaign.
Plausible deniability because I'm not good at math.
The whole sole focus of my campaign will be she promised you she wouldn't raise taxes. That's all my campaign's gonna be.
Right.
That's not true. But I've got all my stances, and I'll have more stances and more specific stances, and I'll do whatever. But Metro's still going to be my thing. I still think Metro's the right idea. You can't talk me out of it. Because maybe a Metro government might have some stones to not fucking bend over backwards for UT every second.
It's possible.
Maybe. Because I think that's part of it. And so, moving on, I guess, but a story I wanted to share with you from my beach week. So, we didn't get into it too much. I kind of kept myself in check, kind of go crazy on stuff. But we got a little politics here and there, and so I was talking, we're early in the morning. Kids weren't even awake yet. My mom, my sister-in-law, and I are, well, my mom doesn't drink coffee, but my sister-in-law and I are making our coffee, and we're kind of sitting around in the kitchen in the morning. My mom's there, and we start talking politics and stuff. And I was like, guys, I'm going to ask you a handful of questions, and I'm not trying to be, I don't mean this to be mean, but I know it's going to come off mean. Are you guys okay with that? And we'd been talking a little politics already. We're talking about this. Like the couple of times politics got out, it's like, Mom, you don't care about school. I do care about school. Schools are very important. It's like, Mom, you don't. Who'd you vote for? Now, I don't know. She couldn't remember, which is part of the issue. And I was like, okay. And so, like, that's where we started. Like, we started on, like, you know, like, I was like, the one thing that I've learned in paying attention to politics is everybody says they care about schools, but they never actually do. And my mom's like, the politicians, well, they just say that to get votes. I was like, no, the people too, including you. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, who'd you vote for? She's like, I don't remember. And we sister-in-law, she's pitching, we're talking about it. Okay. I was like, I'm going to ask this series of questions. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's going to come off really rude. But understand that it is the point. The questions are the point. And they're like, okay, go ahead. I was like, all right. Are you in the city of Knoxville or are you Knox County residents? They're both county residents. I know that. My sister-in-law might be in Farragut, but they were like, I'm pretty sure it's just county. I don't think we're in the city. Sister-in-law, are you guys in Farragut or not? I don't think she is, and she doesn't think she is either. I didn't pull it up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. County residents. What county commission district are you in? I don't know. Who's your county commissioner? I don't know. What county school board are you in? Same number. I don't know. Who's your school board member? I don't know. What state house district are you in? I don't know. Who's your house member? And actually, I was telling them what they were as they went. I was like, I'm pretty sure you're this. I don't know my sister-in-law. I'm pretty sure my moms are the same here. Pretty sure my mom's house is District 4. I was like, I'm pretty sure you got Shane Jackson, Mom. I'm pretty sure you got Cat Pike. I was like, I'm pretty sure you guys are in District 18 in the house. Elaine Davis. And so, like, I went all the way through, and, like, I got 0 right answers. I got a bunch of, oh, yeah, after I told them. When I got to Senator, one of the 2 senators, they were like, oh, yeah, I knew that. I'm sorry, I knew that. And then the President of the United States. And Tim Burchett, Marcia, and Trump. Those are the only ones they told me when I asked the question. No, sorry. Trump and Burchett were the only ones they told me when I asked the question. Marcia was like, oh, yeah, I totally knew that. I'm sorry, I totally knew that.
Right.
And I was like, well, who's the other senator? I don't know. And it's like, we just went through a list of people, and the only one you guys know for sure, without question, is the least important one to your day-to-day life. And if we go back to the beginning of the conversation when we're talking about schools, is the absolute least important one in what's going on in our schools in Knox County. That, Mom, is why you don't actually care about schools. And she's like, I see what you mean, but there's so much going on. I was like, I know. And I'm fortunate enough to have the time. And I do my stupid podcast that nobody listens to tell people the truth about things. And again, granted, people don't have 2 hours to listen to this either. But, I mean, the problem that I have with it is that, and my mom and sister-in-law are not this, but there are so many people that I've interacted with who are so self-assured about how things work and that they're so fucking right. And if I ask them that same list of questions, they're just as clueless as my mom is. But they still think they're right afterwards. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's okay that you don't know. I don't hate you for not knowing. I hate you for acting like you do.
Yeah.
And try to talk down to me when I know better. That's why I don't like you. I really don't care that you were too ignorant on the particular topic. And I actually respect the fact that you were too busy.
Right. To
educate yourself. But shut the fuck up if you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Especially around somebody who does. And so, but again, it was an interesting experiment. I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy with, because I was confident that I was correct, that I was going to get all the way through that list with no right answers. Like I was happy that I was right in the gambler sense, but I didn't necessarily it's like when the Packers are playing, like Packers played the Chiefs this year or something like that. I want to bet on my Packers, but I'm taking the Chiefs.
Right.
And it's like, I'm glad I'm right, but I'm bummed at the same time, And so that was a big mess. All right, let's get light for a second. That Argentina-England game, full disclosure, I came in at like the 49th minute. I missed the first half. I missed the England goal.
Okay. I thought England was doing pretty well in the first half of it.
Yeah.
They were holding their own and pressing pretty well.
And
Argentina, I guess, decided to just kick it up a notch.
And right, when they turned it on, they turned it on. And what's funny is, like, before they scored the goal to tie it, I was like, all right, I think we're going to get some extra out of this. As soon as they scored the goal and tied it, I was like, Argentina's going to win in time. There's not going to be overtime. This is over.
And the way they were playing, yeah.
It was phenomenal. And there was like nothing. Like England had nothing on it. And they couldn't do anything. It was just long balling. It was like that was like 35 minutes of the final 5 minutes of a one-score game is what what it felt like watching. Like you have a good game, like a very good, well-matched game, and you got a team that's down one, and it's at like the 83rd, 85th minute, and that sense of desperation, urgency kicks in, and it's like, ooh, that's exciting. Like that's exciting soccer. It was like that for 35 minutes.
I think one of the announcers mentioned it. I think England kind of messed themselves up because when they were up by a goal, I think they did a couple subs.
Right.
They put in more defensemen.
Right. They played to hold that one instead of go get any more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But brilliant, like just brilliant, good soccer. Like that is, I don't know. Like it was one of the fun things in that house because I'm such a weirdo. I'm the only one in the house that really gave a shit about the World Cup. And I was trying to take time to watch some of the World Cup games while we were there and have it on the TV in the living room, and everybody's coming and going, "Soccer's stupid." And it's like, oh, yeah, whatever. And then my brother's trying to make the argument for why baseball is the greatest sport. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say that. It's like, it's the perfect sport. It's one-on-one. It's like, no, that's exactly what. There's 9 other guys, or there's 8 other guys on the team that are actively playing. And you're talking about the one-on-one's all that matters.
I mean, it kind of is. Because, I mean, majority of the game is, pitching and batting. Or between the pitcher and the batter.
Yeah. It is. And, like, baseball can be very exciting. Baseball is exciting. But not like soccer is.
Right.
Not even like football is. Like football, like American football is much more exciting than baseball. Baseball is a sport that is built for live viewing. It is fantastic to go to live baseball games. 100%. It is built around that. That's why it was the most popular game. It's built for radio and live viewing. It is not built for television.
Yeah.
It's not built for the television audience, and neither is soccer, but in the good way, not the bad way.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of articles. I don't know if you saw them where they're talking a lot of English speakers were watching the Telemundo version. Because I guess they like that announcer better, even though they didn't speak Spanish. A couple of them joked like, "Yeah, by the end of it, like I'm gonna know Spanish."
I might not know Spanish, but I'm gonna feel it.
Right.
Like, cause those.
But I guess it's this one like predominant announcer that even just doing like the play-by-play is a lot more like energetic.
Yeah, I do think one of the things that occurred to me in this World Cup that I never thought about before is like it's literally empire colonies. Like of the major empires in the 17th 18th century empires and their colonies are all that's really relevant.
Yeah.
Even the best African teams that make it, like the few African teams out, I mean, which is exciting that there's more African nations that are making it to the World Cup. Part of that's because they expanded the size, blah, 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 blah. But like even that, it's like this was a French colony nation. And so like, I mean, literally we have Spain playing Argentina, its colony, in the final.
Is it?
I believe Argentina was a Spanish colony. It's got a bunch more Germans in it because of World War II, but
yeah. I don't know if you saw one story. I guess after the win, there was some big huge banner that was in Spanish. Mentioned like the Falklands.
Yeah, the Falklands are Argentinian.
Yeah,
yeah. Which is a major sticking point. Like it would have been.
Yeah, they fought over it. Literally had the Falkland War.
That was what's exciting. The English. I mean, that was part of what was exciting in that. That the undertones. Those teams didn't like each other.
Yeah.
Like there was something that there was a little bit of the pregame, or maybe it was during halftime. I don't know. I remember seeing one of the hype things for it. Maybe it was a couple days prior. Like I think it was it was the day after. The day before was the other game, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And so I was watching that game, and it finished, and then they were doing hey, that was a great game. They were doing the recap. They were doing all the field interviews, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, we're looking forward to tomorrow. And they did they had a primer video built. It was like interviews with some of the players, some of the former players. It's like when you grow up as an English soccer player, if you're in the English soccer system, or just as an Englishman in general, but inside the English soccer system, like we don't like the Argentinians. Like, that is a team that we beat in soccer. We have to beat them in soccer. We have to beat them in soccer.
Well, it goes back to like the Maradona golden goal. I think that's one kind of sore spot for them. 'Cause I think that was in like a World Cup final that they lost because I guess there definitely wasn't video review at the time, but the referee missed that, Maradona blocked a goal using his hand.
Handball.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, people have gotten killed over those kind of calls.
Yeah, they have. And I thought that was an interesting point that somebody made. I can't remember who it was on one of the different Talking Heads things that was talking about it. Who was it? Rooney was on a podcast talking about it. He's like, I got a real problem with this World Cup. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's like, I'm on the field playing in the World Cup, and I don't know the referees' names. And now they're putting them on the TV. Their names are on their jerseys now.
Yeah.
And they have the VAR. We have all this stuff. And it's like, it's not supposed to be about them. I'm not saying that they don't deserve some recognition for what they do, but they shouldn't have their names on their jersey. They shouldn't be like, I mean, NFL does it. They announce whose it is, like the head referee especially is.
Yeah, NHL does it also, yeah.
But they don't put their names on the jerseys, not in the NFL. I don't think they do it in the NHL either.
Right, no, they announce them at the beginning.
But they announce it and they put it like it's a thing. And I don't mind the premise of that on the TV part, is like you show that part. But like I think I get kind of where he's coming from. It's like part of that job is supposed to be the anonymity that they're supposed to kind of be. They're supposed to disappear in the background.
Right.
If they don't disappear in the background, it sucks for the game.
Yeah, I think that game was an all-American referee squad.
Yeah. One of them was. But yeah, that was exciting. That was an exciting half of football.
Another game I was trying to think of that was really good was Mexico, England.
Yeah.
Which I was worried because it came up as like reschedule. I thought they were going to reschedule it for the next day, but it just got postponed like 30, 45 minutes. That was a really good game.
Yeah, there were a couple. I mean, there were some great. I mean, the worst game I watched was the U.S. getting the shit kicked out of them by Belgium.
Yeah.
Like, which was very disappointing as a fan. Although it makes me feel a little better, because I do remember commenting before the World Cup started that if the U.S. wins the World Cup, I am fully on board with this as a simulation, and I am the focal point of the simulation.
Yeah.
There's no way. It's just not. We're not there yet. Like, I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted England to beat Argentina just because the repeat. Apparently, this would be 4. If Argentina can hold on this is 4 major national tournaments straight. Argentina has won.
I'm trying to remember the last time they said that they had a back-to-back
World Cup. Right.
winner.
That's happened a couple times. But they've also won Copa, and then they won CONCACAF.
Yeah, I think I did see that.
Which are in the 2-year increments between. So 2 years before the last World Cup, they won a Nations tournament. Then they won the World Cup, and then they won another Nations tournament, and now they're about to win the next World Cup, the second World Cup. But
I think they said they're ranked number 1 right now.
Yeah,
I don't know how often they
so.
update
They're
the
fucking
ratings.
good, but it's just, I would like to I am absolutely not an Anglophile by any stretch of the imagination, but it is Premier League soccer. It is the best sports country. Or it is the best soccer country in the world for professional soccer. It is. Mm-hmm. It is, but that was another interesting thing in talking about it. And
I'm trying to think like what English teams have won the Champions League.
Yeah,
because you got some powerhouses in Spain as well.
You do.
Italy used to be more, but I think they've
and you got a few French and then you got a few Germans.
Yeah, that's right. You got PSG,
but still, even not winning the Champions League, I still think it's a given that the English Premier League is the top professional soccer league in the world.
So I hear him mention watching some of the games, talking about different players and opposing teams, know each other from playing in the same league, basically. That
was the one that I was really I think my World Cup crush is the Norway guy, Haaland.
Yeah,
I was like, but yeah, apparently that game that Norway lost. I think it was they were talking about the matchup between him and the defender for the other team, who Haaland's on Man City, and the defender is in Arsenal. And so they play each other a couple times a year all the time anyway, so they know each other very well.
Right.
And then the other inverse versions of that, where it's like these two guys play together on their professional team, and they're not playing opposite each other on the World Cup team.
Yeah.
Or these guys play against each other in their professional team, and now they're playing on the same team in their national team. And so I don't know. I think the World Cup is the greatest sporting event, period, full stop.
Oh, definitely.
I think it's
the most popular.
It's the most exciting. It has the most, it just feels good, even though FIFA is awful. Like, the corruption and issues that FIFA has had off
I've
the
seen
field
a number of stories,
is crazy. And FIFA is bad. And I think I'll as a fan and of somebody who was excited with the U.S. team, I think FIFA I don't know if they got paid, but I think FIFA for popularity purposes is why they picked up that red card for that U.S. player.
Yeah, and that did the stuff around that. It seemed kind of odd,
right?
It's like, so it was obvious that the president of the the host country called you, even said as much, basically asking you to relook at it again.
Yeah.
So I think England, no,
there's a couple
it was
different
Belgium. I think that was trying to ask for one of their players back, or another team. I thought that the U.S. played. Oh. They were like, oh well, he got sent off in the last game. Like, will you take a look at this person?
Yeah.
But talk about historical enemies. The third place game is England-France.
Right. Classic.
Yeah. I think that's...
As an American, I'm a French fan.
I think that's today/tomorrow. Tomorrow/today. Saturday.
The 15th or the 18th, whatever that day is.
Yeah, I think third place game is Saturday and then final Sunday.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody cares. That's a hard one. I don't know. That's just... I have a hard time feeling like I'm going to see any good soccer in that one.
They don't do a podium ceremony or anything.
I mean, it's just, I took third. I mean, I don't know. For the sake of it being this game and this matchup, it might be fun.
Right.
Because it is a significantly historic, general rivalry, not just in soccer, in the history of time. They've, again, we don't exist without France hating England enough to come over here just to fight with them.
Yeah,
that's I think that's a safe assumption, historically speaking, at least.
A lot of people don't realize, but yeah, it's definitely true. I think we did the Revolutionary War all on our own.
Yeah, Lafayette was the real deal, the bee's knees, if you will. Didn't he die here too? He came back.
Not sure.
And did a tour when he was older and ended up dying here.
Couldn't say for certain.
I don't recall.
I did see something that was talking about. It was something I kind of wondered as well. Anytime the ball went into the stands for the World Cup games, there were people that were the employees of the stadium or whatever.
Give back.
Yeah, we're literally fighting people, taking it out of people's hands. I think some of it, I guess, the amount of money that was spent on doing the research, because I didn't think about it, but it makes sense. But they basically had to test the balls in different types of situations as far as humidity and altitude and whatnot to make sure it would still be equal for all the games.
Right. I don't think about one of the things that I'm as a football fan, American football fan. There's been a lot of chatter from NFL players who play in places like Atlanta or Dallas or LA at the SoFi Stadium, which is the new artificial turf, but still artificial turf.
Okay.
Saying, wait a minute, we can have grass? We would like to play on grass. Why aren't we playing on grass?
Or were all the stadiums full grass?
Yeah, that was FIFA. It's all the UT Michigan State grass that we developed here.
Right. I thought I saw some games where a slide tackle and you see on the artificial turf all the little black bits. Yeah.
That was a FIFA thing. It was we're playing all real grass.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess a lot of the games they did at the during the hydration breaks they did have the sprinklers. Yeah. I think except for the Argentina game, there were some players that they got inadvertently sprayed.
There's a couple games where I saw that where they just stand there and just get
I thought some were doing it intentionally, but I guess there were a couple times it took them by surprise. They just coming on all of a sudden. They're like, "Oh shit! I didn't realize it was pointing at me."
Well, there's a couple. I mean, there's a bunch of there was one of the games I was watching. They're talking about the dude was on his fourth jersey, came out and started the game, and then at the water break he changed jerseys because it was just so soaked.
Yeah. So I think it was the LA stadium I saw that it looked like it was daytime, but I think it's all just opaque glass. covered. And they talked about it being so hot in there because it was so sunny, and the hot air just stays in that stadium.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Anyway, I'm excited. I would be curious if the NFL starts, if the Players Union and the NFL start to have a conversation about the technology is available. We can have real grass even in the domes, even in the covered buildings.
Right. Yeah, but to last through a whole season, I mean, some stadiums had been doing it for a while anyway, but I mean, this year you're preparing it for a handful of games.
I mean, yeah, but I think too you got. I'm trying to think here.
Don't have to worry about turf toe anymore.
Well, I think I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they do it in the indoors, like in the actual true indoor, which there's only a couple that were true indoor stadiums. Which, I mean, not really. LA was a true indoor, but not really.
I think Atlanta's
it's open air. Atlanta's retractable.
Is it? Okay.
That was the exception. The only Atlanta's interesting because it was the only exception to the logo rule. Because the way the dome closes,
Atlanta Stadium.
Right, but the way the dome closes, it's because it's Mercedes-Benz.
Right.
But the way the dome closes with that weird little twisty,
it does the Mercedes symbol,
and then the center of it's the Mercedes logo, and it would literally was gonna it's built into each of those little panels that come together when it closes.
Yeah.
And so for them to take that logo off would have basically been to put a new roof on.
Yeah.
And so the deal was whether the roof's on or not, that Fox would not show a single shot of the closed roof if they ever closed that roof during the game.
I did see some criticism as far as the branding, because it was the Michelob Ultra Player of the Game, and somebody Powerade sponsored
the water breaks.
The water breaks.
Yeah. Why not?
There are definitely some criticisms of the hydration breaks being specifically for the American audience, so they could put some more ads in there and commercials and whatnot.
I don't know.
I guess Home Depot was also a big sponsor.
I mean, I feel like the hydration break it's its own problem. We already talked about it on here. I think it's a bummer. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I go back and forth. Originally I was well, let's just do quarters. Let's just do quarters and we'll play 22 and a half minutes or so. But we get to the 22 and a half minute mark, and then at the next stoppage, or the ref just basically says, okay, well, we had that guy get hurt early and it took a couple minutes, so we'll wait until the 25 minute mark and then we'll take a break. And then we'll start back over with the next, when we start back, just like we start at halftime, we start at 22:31 and go to 45.
Yeah. I do agree with the criticism that it does because the game is a lot of ebb and flow as far as the flow of the game. Hydration break does cancel that.
It does. But I mean, with the way the rule sits is that the rule is that it's supposed to be done, it's at the ref's discretion.
But around halfway, yeah.
It's at the ref's discretion, somewhere around the 22-minute mark.
But when there's supposed to be a lull in play.
But when there's a stoppage anyway.
Okay, yeah.
If Team A is going down and they're making a move and it hits that 22.5-minute mark, they're not blowing the whistle. They go and they hit the cross in, and then they take the shot, and it goes way over the crossbar. We got a goal kick. All right, everybody take 5. We're getting water.
Right.
It's not so if that I think I truly think, and I don't know if I saw it, but I would think that as a rule, within the rule, they would say, okay, if you're down there and you're possessing the ball and you're moving, and you're in the box and you take that shot, and the goalie punches it out and it goes across the end line for a corner at the 22.45. I think the rule says that you go and you do that corner. You wait for the possession change with a stoppage before you stop for water break.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Because on the other side, if you're on defense and you get and they get a stoppage before you get to hit that corner, I would not like that as the defense. So they get to go and have a chat and really work out exactly what they want to do on this corner.
Right. That's not all right, you got 10 seconds to figure out how you want to set up for this. I got confused. I was like, that team that just won the NBA. I'm why are they? I was now I saw the logo. I was oh, it's Summer League.
Summer League. I don't know.
Forgot they do that.
Sports ball. But, yeah. I don't know. You want to talk about Farragut government? What do you want to talk about?
There's something going on in the guts of
Farragut's got an election coming up. as well. We can talk about that Kofor character. Did we talk about the Kofor character losing his job?
I think so.
The sheriff, he worked at the Tennessee Department of Corrections. Got in trouble for coming in high.
No.
And resigned before he got fired. He's running for
Knox County.
Yeah, he's running for he didn't do this. Didn't happen in Knox County, but he's running for county commission at a countywide seat.
Okay. I did see a story that the allegations against the 11 sheriff's office employees or whatever, they're trying to consolidate that into one single trial. I guess try them all at the same time. I would say there'll probably be some appeals to separate the trials, but we'll see.
I mean, who's the proper rat? Like somebody's, like, they're ratting. At least a couple of them started ratting each other out.
Maybe.
I mean,
I would think the attorney's office has probably tried to cut some deals with some.
I did see.
It's been going on
for a hot minute.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think, whatever. I think this is one of those that when this case gets to trial and the few people that actually get there before they plea out and stuff like that is going to be generally underwhelming. I think that's my prediction.
You don't think it's going to be on court TV and get to watch live coverage?
I mean, it might be, but it's not. I mean, it's not going to be fun to watch anyway. But I'm just saying, the verdicts are to come down and the punishments are going to be really? $300,000? What did we figure out the whole math was? $500,000? Maybe. Worth of stuff? Again, my argument the whole time, my original argument when all the indictments dropped, it's was never about them abusing it. My argument was always the system that let that exist is the problem, not them abusing it. Not to say it's okay that they abused it, but
comptroller can't catch them all.
But my point is, you put a system in place where you're incentivizing people to steal other people's shit. And yes, they're cops, but they're still cops that are incentivized to steal. Because then, a lot of it was just misuse. They spent county funds on buying laptops and stuff. No, it's not county funds. It was seized assets. And funds derived from seized assets.
Oh, was it?
Right. They kick in your door, they steal your pot and any cash you have in the house. They destroy the pot, and then that cash goes into a safe. Not into a bank account, into a safe.
That's how the narcotics unit was funded.
Yeah, they pull you over, and you got a pound of weed in there. They destroy the weed, and they keep your car, and they sell it at auction, and that auction money goes into an account.
Right.
And that account pays for the credit card so that the narcotics unit can buy an undercover thing.
Right.
They want to send Officer Jimmy to go on a buy. We need to get him a car that seems more relevant. We can't send him in a cruiser, obviously. We can buy him an undercover car. Which, I mean, if that's what you're doing, reasonable, I guess. Or we want to get him some clothes that look we want to go shopping for him to dress the part.
Right.
We're going to use the seized asset money to do that. That's the way it's designed. But apparently, drug dealers like to do deals in duck blinds. I guess that's the argument. I mean, that'd be my argument if I'm the defense. But yeah, we were setting up a bust on the sheriff's property in a duck blind. Yeah, we had good intel that said there was a dude that liked to duck hunt.
You had to grow up out there.
We had a dude that liked to duck hunt, and apparently you get out there, have a couple beers, and shoot at some ducks, and he starts talking. So we were trying to set it up. That'd be that's the argument. Yeah. But let me say, but the incentive of the program is the more stuff we can take, especially however long. I mean, they'd gotten away with it for a while, and you're looking around going, the more shit we take, the more we can spend on our duck blinds and other assorted fun things that we like to do.
Right.
And this is coming down from the sheriff himself, obviously. And so, as the officer, you're very encouraged to go take more people's shit. That's my problem with it. Not that it excuses their behavior of what the thing, but the system is bad in the first place, and then you have the corruption on top of a bad system. It's double gross.
Yeah. And
so these guys are going to get punished, but they're not going to change. There's going to be no systematic change here. Spangler or Gibson, for that matter, are not going to go, you know what, this is giving me a pause to say, maybe we should change the way we do this. That ain't going to happen. Because Gibson's going to be like, I'm not that guy. I don't do shit like that. So I don't have to worry about it. And then his narcotics guys buy him a buck bind, and he's like, where did that come from, guys? Oh, we were just, we pulled together because we like you, boss.
Right. I mean, outside the kind of like the higher probability of corruption, I mean, it's not the worst idea to use, objects like that to fund where it is less taxpayer money having to pay.
I won't say best worst. I would say logical. I get the logic.
Yeah.
Logically, it makes perfect sense. If we were in the Star Trek universe where everybody was altruistic and their intent was to do the best.
Right.
But knowing that we are human beings, like I got this Officer Cash, great dude, fun to talk to. I have a couple weeks ago we were talking about my skill as a bartender. My skill as a bartender is like, I don't have tits. I'm not fun to look at. My skill as a bartender, I don't make special drinks. I'm not a mixologist, and I make something you go, whoa, that's crazy.
But you got some gift of gab.
I have the gift of gab. Hence this podcast, among other things. I can talk a lot. I can talk more or less intelligently about a lot of things. And so, Officer Cash, who's worked Holaroo a couple times, and he's a fun guy. He's a nice dude. But I never had anything. And then out of nowhere, I'm not exactly sure where it came about. Oh, no, we had a Star Trek car this year. That's what it was. And he had mentioned in passing that he was a Star Trek fan. I was like, I thought I liked you, man. He's like, what? He's like, I thought you were cool, but Star Trek's not it. And he goes, what, are you a Star Wars guy? I was like, yeah, man. He's like, why do you like Star Wars? I was like, because it's realistic. He's like, it's sci-fi. I was like, yeah, but it's sci-fi based on human beings, not sci-fi based on this fantasy person who cares about doing right all the time. And he's like, well, yeah, that's why I like it, because it's positive, it's fun, and it's the best of us. And I was like, yeah, but I get that. But and the more I thought about it, it's like, yeah, as a cop who has to deal with the worst of us, I can see why you want to escape from that to the best of us version.
Yeah.
For me, where I'm more in this a more pampered version of the world, because I don't have to see the worst of the worst of the worst, I can go and look at Star Wars and be like, that's accurate, and I like it. But so it's not my thing with him, and I love it. I got to go down and see him because we had a false alarm on another shooting.
You told me about one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah. He happened to be there, and I was like, hey, man, which was actually kind of funny because one of the funniest things to me in a reoccurring sense with everybody freaking out about gun stuff all the time is I have a carry bag. I have this little satchel. It's a carry bag. It's designed to be my concealed bag.
Right.
And I bought it for that purpose. I've ended up using it more like a man purse than I do as a carry bag.
Right.
But, when I left the house after I got the call from my staff about this, I was like, hey, babe, I'm going to grab my gun. I'm going down to the shop. And so I'm walking up to KPD officers with my carry bag, and nobody says a word. I go to I've gone down to the city county building with my carry bag.
Into the building?
Yeah. I mean, it goes through their scanner and stuff, so it doesn't matter.
And they just hold it up front for you?
No, I'm not carrying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
But I use my carry bag as a purse or stuff like that. But I've gone in a bunch of places where I'm trying to remember. There was one where it's like, we went to Dollywood. And I'm going through the security checkpoint in Dollywood. And I took it off and I have it held out. I'm ready to hand it to the guy. And he's like, you're good. And I put it back on and I'm walking through. I was like, I get it. If you're just some random bouncer or, generic non-professional security person, that you're going to see this bag and just think it's a little carry bag.
A man purse.
A little man purse or whatever. But, because it's funny to me, what makes it funny to me is that I bought it with a purpose. My wonderful wife, I love her, she's amazing. She bought this cute little backpack. She thought it was the most adorable little backpack because she wanted to have a little carry purse. Not for her gun because she doesn't have a gun. But she just wanted to buy this, she just thought it was a good size for the stuff that she likes to carry around when she's going out shopping or whatever. And she thought it was cool looking and whatever. She found it at a secondhand store. It wasn't like she went to a place to buy a bag. Right. She saw it. She's like, that's cool. That's something that I would use. And she brought it home. And as soon as she walked in the door, I was like, why did you buy a gun bag? She's like, what? I was like, that's a gun. That's a carry bag. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, that's a bag designed to put your gun in so that when you're out and about, you have access to it, but it's also useful for whatever.
Does it have pockets for that purpose?
And yeah, and I was like, she's like, what do you mean? And so I was like, let me see the bag. And so I opened it up, and the whole back wall of it is Velcro, and stuck to that Velcro is a holster. And it's like, I saw it immediately, and I'm not even a gun nut. But it cracked me up that I'm walking through Dollywood security, which I assume is a pretty smart guy, pretty well knowledgeable, with my carry bag, and he doesn't want to look inside. And this was before I walked through the metal detector, or the scanner thing that they have in the door.
Right.
Like, I already had it off and out and ready to hand it to him. He's like, no, you're good. And I put it back on and walked through the thing.
Could have had a ghost gun on you.
I know. I want to figure out I want to get some plans. I want to 3D print one. I got a 3D printer now.
Yeah, I think it might have been state laws that they were trying to increase that.
What?
But, I mean, they're essentially...
Ghost guns?
Yeah.
They're increased the...
But some of it, I guess, not increase the penalties, but try to crack down on the availability of it.
In Tennessee?
No, I think it was in other states. I don't think it was federal. I think it was probably a northeastern state, maybe. I've heard some people talking about it, and to where...
yeah, like it's Vermont. Vermont's trying to... what was it? Oh, God, it was so funny. They were trying to do... Oh, God, what was it? They were basically trying to require 3D printer manufacturers, if they want to sell their printers into the state of Vermont, it is required to have a warning, an override obligation into the system. So if the 3D printer thinks it's about to print a 3D gun, it's supposed to warn the operator, which is basically it's a liability kind of mess. It's basically like the is your website 21 and up?
Yeah.
And just putting that thing that you don't have any real verification, but the checkbox makes it at least they actively chose to break the law.
I thought maybe it was you that was telling me this. I thought it would almost kind of send a request to either some kind of manufacturer or to like a federal or state entity. Whenever I'm
sure there's some
certain plans that were flagged as being used.
I'm sure
but there's vagueness in it because some of them, like for a cylinder, basically. That's the same thing as just, a tube.
Right.
So it's really hard to say. They're like, oh, are you making something that just need
but
tube
again,
for?
if you're 3D printing, like if you're a lawmaker and you're trying to figure out a way to do it, you're not worried about a cylinder. It's the firing mechanism. That's all that matters.
Yeah. But even then, the trigger is just like a tab.
Right. Well, I mean, that's my argument for vape. These are just flashlights.
Yeah.
I mean, 99% of the components are flashlight components. It's just a flashlight that's not very good. It's not a good flashlight, but it's a flashlight.
I did see a story today. I guess Blount County, I think they voted on it yesterday. They're trying to extend Pellissippi Parkway.
Again?
Yeah. It's something I guess they've been talking about for years, but now the county or city voted to start the process again. And they said it would probably be into like the 2030s before they finished it or whatever, but they voted on trying to do it again.
I mean, if they played it right, they would get the state involved and make that the fucking bypass.
Bypass to where? It's pretty far south.
But Pellissippi? I mean, they're talking about... Okay.
No, down to Alcoa. Maryville.
From where?
Right where it ends there. Right where Clayton Homes is.
Right.
If you keep going down Pellissippi.
Right.
Right,
if you keep going, like, if it continued, it would continue back up into 40 eventually.
Would it? I don't know.
I mean...
Not really sure where that goes directionally.
I mean, it's... At that point, it's like an east-northeast. It's a... Maybe it's still southeast. It's eastern. It's mostly east from there.
I think it's more southeast.
Maybe, but again, you continue it. I mean, you could continue it down into like Townsend and go towards like that way through the Smoky Mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which would be what Knoxville was trying to do. Knox County was trying to do with James White, John Sevier, James White. I always get those two back and forth. So in a weird bit of rumor news, heads up for the European Heritage Festival coming to Knoxville.
Hadn't heard about it.
What do you think when you hear it? Because this is interesting. Like, this is a very interesting thing I had this morning. Go ahead. A European Heritage Festival.
Right.
What do you think? Like, what do you think that's going to be?
English, French, Italian, Spanish.
And so...
German, yeah.
Right. You know, Italian, German, English, maybe some Scandinavian.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, I mean, Greece. It's kind of on the edge of it.
We've got some Irish in East Tennessee, Scotch-Irish.
Yeah. And so, essentially, I don't know what it is exactly. I just heard about it today. And so, a buddy of mine was telling me about it. It's like, this is a white supremacist rally. It's like, what? It's like, okay, I see where you're getting at, like, the heritage thing. But it's like, I don't know. You know, like, we have Rossini, Italian. We have Greek Fest. We have German Fest.
We have a German Fest?
We have a German Fest. I don't know that we have any English-specific festival. But we do have some pretty significant European festivals.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe it's like somebody from, like, Liechtenstein or something small. And they're like, I want to do a Liechtenstein Fest, but that's not enough to get people involved. Because, you know, it wouldn't make sense if I was at German Fest or I was at some French Fest. Is there a French Fest? I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. It's one of those, so it's just one of those moments where it's like, it's a worldview issue that I struggle with. It's a worldview issue with feminists that I don't get. I'm sorry, that was a weird split comparison. Like, I understand that I don't understand what it's like to be a woman. Like, I get that. And I understand the base framework of feminism and stuff like that. I get the idea. What I don't get is where everything is viewed through a feminist lens. Where it has to be feminist, or it has to be patriarchy, or whatever. It's like, is it possible that a thing is just a thing, or does it have to have overtones? And so this dude I was talking to earlier today about this festival that's coming up, and it's like, well, you know, yes, I get it. It's a Caucasian fest, which a Caucasian fest is, if you want to look at it that way, sure. It's kind of a white nationalist event, which it might be. I don't know. I haven't talked to the person who was putting it on.
Right.
I hope to meet them because we've got a special events meeting coming up next week, and all us event planners come there and hang out and chat with each other. And I hope he's there or she's there, and I get to talk to them. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what their intent is. I don't jump to that conclusion. But he was jumping to this conclusion. Like he had this. The conclusion was that this is a white supremacist festival that somebody's trying to put on in Knoxville.
Right.
Do I think it's possible? Absolutely. That some weird fringe group is trying to put together a thing that's trying to put a kind of neat, nice face on it, but it's a disguised face for the real intent over here. Absolutely. I think that's possible. Is that my assumption? No. And that's where I get lost. And that's where I think I know we are lost as a society. Is that there are large swaths of people that is the thing, automatically. Whether it's feminists or anti-white nationalists or white nationalists or whatever. It's like we have all these little different groups that the automatic is the worst possible.
Right. And
it's like, okay, I see why. I can understand the thought process of how you get there. But what's the old adage? Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Yeah. Bring the evidence with it before you get there.
Like, just because they use the word heritage, because that was the big sticking point, heritage.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's how a lot of people look at their lineage, their family tree, whatever. Heritage is one of the words that's often used. And yes, that has been co-opted by white nationalists nationally here in the United States, for sure.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, maybe it's a dummy that wants to put this event on. Again, I do my stupid Liechtenstein example. It's like, it's just some dummy who wants to put this event on that doesn't see the world in that view. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things with words, like just words in general. Like we have this thing where we all have our own attachments to words, and we attach our own things to words. There are certain words, the very generic example being the N-word. It's one of those. It's like it's okay here, it's not okay there. It's okay for these people, it's not okay for these people. It's like that's weird. I don't want to get into an N-word conversation right now. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, let's not.
But what I'm saying is like it's a weird thing that we do as a species, that we put these things in these weird little boxes, and they only come from our point of view, and we can't take a second to give another point of view a chance. It's like, well, let's get there. Let's get to the second point of view, and then we can react to it. But it's really possible. Like to me, it's really possible. It's just some guy that wants to do a thing, or some person, some group that wants to do a thing, very innocently, and isn't thinking in this complex, hyper-political worldview where heritage is all of a sudden a bad word. Because that's really what the takeaway from my buddy was what I was talking about earlier.
Right.
It's like heritage, the word heritage from any Caucasian background, any white background, is automatically racist. And I was like, oh. I mean, I'm sure there's, I don't know. He's told me a story about he went to what do they call it? The Scots shit up in the mountains.
Highland Games.
Yeah, I went to Highland Games. And it was like, I had a really good time, but then it kind of dawned on me how much like white nationalism was around me. And it's like, dude, you can be anywhere. You can be at anything other than maybe like a Jay-Z concert and have a bunch of white nationalists around you because they're Americans. Like, I don't know, that didn't come around. Fuck. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the U.S. culture is a white-dominated culture. And so things that are attractive to American culture are white-dominated. So obviously, some of those white-dominated cultural events are going to include white nationalists.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Not because the event is white nationalist, but because, I mean, fuck, your neighbor down the street's a fucking racist. Okay. Just because you live in the neighborhood doesn't mean you're part of their group. I mean, yes, I guess technically you are part of their group because I live in the neighborhood and we are the group of these people in this neighborhood. You're in groups, maybe that's what I mean. Is we're all in groups with white nationalists. We're all in groups with other racists and sexists and all sorts of things. Because we live our lives. And we interact with these people. Do we like that they exist? No. But we don't just assume that everybody's the worst because they do. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Woo! That got heavy. I'm sorry.
too.
My bad, bro. My bad. What did I miss? A couple weeks, man. Give me something else. We're back at war with Iran, or we're not. I don't know anymore. I just kind of gave up on it.
Pretty much are. I love how we're like bombing the shit out of them. We're still like, you need to come to the table to make a deal.
I mean, that's the thing that drives me nuts. Just given the pace of my life currently, I haven't been up to speed on my national politics show, but it's like, I caught an episode, and Sagar's like, he's like, look, man, I've been reading through my history and stuff like that, and nobody's bled enough yet. And that bleeding doesn't mean money, bleeding doesn't mean bodies necessarily. It could mean money.
Right.
But nobody's bled enough yet. And the difference in amount of blood required by the different individual entities at play is significant. Because for the Iranians, it can be a
90
lot.
million people, I think I've heard mentioned.
It could be a lot of blood, and it's still worth it to them. Like, right. How much blood how much do they need to bleed before they come to the table begging to stop?
Yeah. So Trump already wants like a standing order that if he gets assassinated, that we automatically, I guess, go and fuck him up.
Right. Well, because to them,
pretty much doing.
Right. Because to them, it's it. It's all or nothing. It's everything. It's nothing.
For them, we've already murdered their supreme leader.
Right. But to us, what? Like, how much do we need to bleed? Like, to me, we've already surpassed.
13 lives we've lost.
I think we're at 17.
Because I always forget that, like, casualties are also injured servicemen.
Right. But, I mean, I think, and again, not having to be blood lives, but blood economy, we've already lost more blood than I'm willing to give. in the economy.
And gas was just starting to go down.
I know. And I'm going to be pissed off tomorrow because I was going to grab gas today. I'm going to get up and stop at the gas station in the morning, and it's going to be way more expensive.
Yeah. So I think before they originally said they were going to sign this deal, I can't remember if there was somebody was saying that like we were really a couple of weeks away from like, I guess almost like the world's supply was about to run out or whatever.
Yeah.
I saw somebody mention this was like the 32nd time that Trump has been like, they're begging for a deal. Or they want to make a deal.
They're always begging for a deal.
Right.
I mean,
I've heard him like mention some other kind of strait. So I'm not exactly sure where that one's at.
The Red Sea?
Yeah, the Red Sea. Yeah.
Look, I don't know. I don't know.
Have we turned around the big, huge like naval armada that we had already sent away? I don't know if they've turned that around to send them back.
I know we blew up a ship that was on Carg Island, like loading or unloading oil.
Huh. I didn't hear that.
And so like the environmental damage is going through the fucking roof now because we're literally blowing up oil tankers.
I didn't see that.
I mean, I don't like whatever. I don't want to fucking talk about it. Fuck, I don't know I don't even know what to say about it. Like, there's no. It goes back to the core argument I've always had. Is like, how are you and I better off?
Right.
Tell me how you and I are better off, and I'm on board. I'm not on board to send my kids.
Right.
Like, it's got to be we're all going to die, and then I'll be like, okay, my kids can go.
I want to say it's a decent majority of people that are like, what will be accomplished? What is this worth? Is this worth the amount of money we've already spent?
What was the point in the first place? Like, that's the thing to me. It's like there's never been a point.
Right. Has there been clearly? Maybe I think that's another thing that pisses people off.
They can't have a nuke. If they have a nuke, they're going to fucking nuke somebody.
Right, we're doing this for the people.
What people?
The Iranians.
They don't give a shit.
Because we care about them.
Yeah. So we blow them up. So we kill a bunch of their fucking little girls.
Right.
That's what people.
We're trying to stop less of the public being murdered.
That's how you show you care. You murder a bunch of little schoolgirls.
We're trying to, have them do a regime change to help out the people.
I'm just like,
because that's how you endear people to your cause. Is you.
I guess to be fair,
kill a leader.
To be a little bit self-sacrificing, for lack of a better word, and fair to it. If I've learned anything over the last couple of years of doing the podcast and understanding local politics, I understand how little I understood.
Right.
About how this works.
Yeah.
And so to be fair for half a second, be like, I understand that I might not understand how complex some of the things actually are.
Geopolitics?
Yeah. But I say that thinking, but then thinking back to the conversation I was having with my mom and my sister-in-law, the one thing we all know about is the top level. The one thing we all have paid attention to our whole lives because we didn't have a choice. It's the thing that dominates media all the time. Is national.
Right.
It's the local that's harder to keep up with. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to give it that grace to say, maybe I just don't know enough and maybe I should keep my mouth shut.
Right.
I don't think so. I think I do know enough.
I'm saying that's one thing a lot of people started kind of being disenchanted by this police action or whatever we want to call it. Is that there never really was any kind of clear, like George Bush when he went to the Iraq War, did a number of speeches, kind of talking about
at least
laying out the game plan of why we're doing this.
Not that it was truthful, but
right. They at least gave us.
Well,
gave
like
us
you
some
said
reasons.
earlier, they were talking about the rename. Some Vietnam Memorial Bridge was renamed for Charlie Kirk or whatever.
Right.
It's like because they came because our Vietnam vets, they didn't deserve the bullshit that they came back to, but they did. But they didn't. You know what I mean? Like they didn't. It wasn't their choice. They didn't choose to go through that part.
Right. Many got drafted.
They got drafted, and they were forced to do these things and stuff like that. But it's like, what did that thing accomplish? What was the point of that fucking mess? Like, do we learn nothing? Do we not bother learning anything ever?
Right.
Like, my dad
had more recent one that nothing was really accomplished.
My dad did not deserve to come home to any bullshit. He didn't. He did the best he could with the situation he had. It's not fair to him to have to deal with that bullshit. At the same time, he shouldn't have had to deal with that bullshit. And the regular Joe out there who has nowhere to land his pissed offness about this whole thing at, is going to land it where he can. So the regular Joe out there who's landing his bullshit on the wrong person deserves to let the bullshit come out too. And so it's like, I'm not trying to say any Vietnam vets deserved any of the bullshit they came home to. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Right. Misdirected anger.
But, like, it's just, it's misdirected anger, but it's legitimate anger. And there's nothing in the system that's going to let that legitimate anger get actually heard and apparently learned from. And so, and I guess what's really, really, really weird about it is the guy who's standing on the runway or whatever, yelling at the troops coming home and calling them baby killers and stuff. Those two guys today are now in their 70s and 80s, and they're the ones that vote most often. And here's where we are.
I hadn't really thought about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it just hit me as I was thinking about that. Like, right. I mean, literally, those are the people that vote most. And those are the people that are voting, the people that are doing the things now. It's like, God damn it, Dad. Not my dad per se, but dad in general, like generic dad out there that's in their 70s or 80s right now from our generational breakdown or whatever.
Right.
It's like, you went through that. You survived that, whether you survived that as some hippie here in the States that didn't go, or you survived that and you went. And you keep electing people that are doing shit like this. What are we doing? Do better. Why are you doing this? Like, your parents put you through that. Your parents and grandparents.
If it's semi-persistent, some kind of conflicts. I mean, even in the 80s, we were going into Central America. It wasn't large scale, but...
I can't come up to any other conclusion than it's an economic game. I think that's...
I mean, some of it was influence. I mean, what we did in the 80s in Central America was...
There's a control issue. There's the... it's economy. It's like, I think we're gonna get 20 years down the line.
Some of it's tied to economy. I think in Central America, I think we were trying to, put in our person so we can have more influence over goods that we send them or goods we get from them. I
think we're gonna go 20 years down the road, 50, 25 years. I don't know. We might still be actively in Iran in 20 years for that matter. But if we can get out of there and get this done, it's going to come out 20 years, 25 years down the road that the reality of the fossil fuel base of energy in the world's economy was at stake, and this was really about the U.S. controlling energy in the future. Because we've lost our empire. We're losing our empire. That's a fact. But at the end of the day, the one thing that matters to everybody in the world is energy.
I mean, warfare has changed.
It's not warfare has changed. I'm talking about the real geopolitical, not the bullshit little people dying thing.
Yeah.
Like the empire part of this, like, again, this is another one that just popped into me drunkenly in the moment. I think the reality is the only way to at least even pretend to try to hold on to the empire is to try to hold on to the control of the production of power. Like energy power, not
right.
Political power.
I think that's part of it. I don't know if there was some like sudden realization that Iran controls the strait, basically. Because I guess they've got the most land next to it. Right.
Well, it's that little fucking, like, there's a little, like, peninsula that pops out in it that's part of
Yemen,
Iran.
Or Oman.
Right. And so, like, I mean, it's a perfect, like, I play little war games on my computer and stuff like that. Like, you want those little jets that go out into the space. Because anybody that has to pass even close to that jet, you have the jet.
Right.
Because that little jet has, 300 degrees of firing range instead of only 180.
Right.
You get to concentrate your power. Anyway, I don't know. That's what I think we're going to find out. We're going to find out that this wasn't about, well, we already know it wasn't about anything, but we're going to find out what it's really about. Was our economy is based on, it's a smoke and mirrors game of an economy. That's all we've got left. And AI. We had a great, oh God, serial podcast we listened to on the drive on, this guy started a company that was run by AI. It's really interesting.
Interesting story of a guy, I guess he had a small company, but he, quote unquote, hired like 3 other like AI people.
That's what this podcast is. He created them.
But essentially he was talking about like the conversations he'd had with them. And one of the AI was like making up that like It's like, oh, so-and-so, like, what'd you do this morning? What'd you do over the weekend? Like, oh, I woke up, I worked out, went down to the gym. It was just AI, like, making up
one.
like it's...
That's exactly... Well, it might be the same one. If it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
And that was the fascinating thing about it, is because it made that up.
Right.
With no prompt. Well, at least the one that I listened to.
It crowdsourced experience, basically, of
Right.
other people.
But it made that
quote,
up.
unquote, normal
But
day.
the thing on at least the one that I listened to, like it made it up and then it stuck. And so, like, this was like a year plus of him doing this thing. And this rise and grind mentality from one of his AI agents stuck through the whole thing. To the point where there was a whole conversation amongst the AI staff about taking a hike, which was hilarious.
Huh.
Like, they had this whole chat about setting up an offsite where they're all going to get together and take this hike through the California mountains.
Wow.
And they all went through it. And what was cool is, like, you got to the conclusion, the final episode, the host and another guy that worked on the show with him went and did the hike that the team had planned.
Right.
And it was really, like, it's very interesting, like, very thought-provoking, like, on where we are with AI and what AI is going to do, what it's capable of doing, stuff like that. My favorite bit on that whole thing was that one of the company that created the AIs, that created the software that the AIs run on for whatever, that this guy was paying for, noticed how much they were spending, like how much this customer was spending, and reached out for like a customer survey. It's like, hey, you're using our product a lot. We'd love to talk to you about what's going on. To the point where the CEO of this AI company had set up a meeting with the AI CEO of the fake company that this guy had created for the show. And then, like, independently, this was outside of the control of the guy that was putting it together. Well, it's not outside the control, but it's outside it. Like, he didn't do it. He wasn't a part of it. It was literally whatever the parent company that created the AI system was emailed the CEO of this fake company that the podcast was doing, requesting some time to talk about their use of the system and how well it was working for them and stuff like that.
Right.
And the AI CEO of this fake company responds to it, goes back and forth, sets up a meeting date, and does a phone call. And the owner of the AI company is on the phone call, pissed off that he's talking to AI. Like, literally, like, are you fucking kidding me? You sent an AI agent to talk to me?
Right.
And he's like walking around the office, showing other people in the office that this fucking customer of theirs is using AI to talk to them. Which is a really interesting little breakdown. And then they followed up with the interview later. It's very, very interesting.
Right.
Might have been the same one you're talking about, but
no, it was just a little blurb that was talking about that.
Yeah, it was super
it was the
cool.
same guy or same person. Yeah.
It was super cool. Like, it was like, I don't know, it was like a 6-hour drive. So we got through all of it except like the last 20 minutes of the last episode on the drive down. And then I had to come back. There was a bonus episodes of outtakes of them talking, which is hilarious. Anyway, let's get weird.
All right, we got museum honors loading. Late artist by covering its floor in enough peanut butter to make 15,000 sandwiches.
What artist covers the floor in peanut butter?
Let's see here, more than 800 pounds of peanut butter, enough 15,000 sandwiches. In the Netherlands, in tribute to Dutch artist Willem T. Schippers, who died last month. Conceptual artist who died at 83. First created, I'm not even going to try to say that, or peanut butter floor in 1969. The work was unveiled Thursday at the Depot offshoot Museum of something in Dutchport city of Rotterdam for a 2-month show. He was a nonconformist character in the Netherlands, where he also voiced Ernie and Kermit, the frog in the Dutch version of Sesame Street. And created absurdist and silly works that challenge conventional ideas about the meaning of art. Yeah, crazy. Weird.
I mean, that's the gauge in the music.
He's the one that did the silent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
314 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only pause on that one because it's like 16,000 sandwiches.
15,000. Yeah.
How many homeless people are in the Netherlands? How many people are hungry in the Netherlands? I'm sure it's not as bad as it is here as a percentage of the population.
Yeah.
It's also a way smaller population, so there's that.
Right. And I think even per capita. I mean, we've got, let's say like one out of four, like school children are basically
the Y
are food insecure.
The Y's done a lunch program this year, like all summer, free lunch. If you're under 18, go to any Y in Knox County.
Right.
You get lunch. Whether you're a Y member or not, just go.
It's awesome.
Well, I'm pissed off because every time I've gone, every time I try to get the kids to be like, hey, let's go get some lunch. Yeah, fucking spoiled brats. Free lunch, you motherfuckers. Real free lunch.
Like, I don't want a PB&J and an apple and a
I need to make them. You know what? You're right. I need to make them. I'm going to make them next week. They're going. I'm like, this is what you're getting.
Right. And
you're going to eat it. You know, he sucks. And it's like, yeah.
Pretend like that's the only thing it's your only option.
There are some kids around that this is the best they're getting.
Right.
This might be the best they eat all day, all week. Fucking spoiled ass brats. I love my kids. I love my kids. I love my kids. Spoil the shit out of
me. All right. Oh, come on. World Santa Congress brings Christmas cheer to the height of summer. Oh, I guess it's in Denmark. While Europe's still in the throes of summer heat, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in the Danish city of Aalborg. Dozens of Santas, Mrs. Clauses, and elves from around the world have descended on Denmark's fourth largest city for the Nordic nation's annual World Santa Claus Congress, a colorful midsummer tradition for decades. I guess they started in 1957. Yeah, 70th anniversary next year. It's created to entertain children, but became a popular gathering for Santas who appear in stores and shopping malls during the Yuletide season. Santa Congress.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with some extra Christmas. We got Christmas in July.
Yeah, my mom was watching some Hallmark channel that was doing their Christmas in July run. But she'll watch those year round.
She don't give a fuck. She loves that shit.
Yeah. They're always heartfelt Christmas stories.
I just thought of something. Oh, yeah. This story.
Oh, I did see that.
We can come back to this later. I did run into Noel on the street the other day, and I gave him some shit. But I'll reach out. We'll see if it makes what. Anyway, the KPD fucking Knoxville surveillance camera system is up and running.
And something connect.
They are trying to sell the idea that you can hook up your cameras. I was under the impression that a Ring or those style, anything that's cloud-based isn't supposed to work.
I thought this was supposed to just compile a list of people that have cameras and like a contact information, basically. So if there was something that happened in your area, they have a name and phone number or whatever they can reach out to then request.
Yeah. Anyway, we can do a whole separate episode. Like, we could stop now, and I could do another 2 shots. And we could do an hour and a half, 2 hours on me just fucking ranting about this shit because I
think you've ranted enough about it.
No, I haven't.
You don't think so?
Well, not enough of you guys are listening and telling your friends to listen and we're doing anything about it. Yeah. This is fucking stupid. This is fucking crazy.
So somebody at Atlanta has...
The expectation of privacy argument. I get it. Like, I walk out my front door. I'm on public space. I have no expectation of privacy from private citizens. I don't know that fairly applies to the state. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's different. I have an expectation of privacy in my home, yes. But if I'm out in public space, I don't have an expectation of privacy from other citizens. From interaction with agents of the state. But I'm not comfortable with the idea that agents of the state aren't human beings. Maybe that's the easiest way for me to break down where I'm at on this argument. Because you don't have to be, you know, again, I'm walking down my street, taking the dog for a walk, and a cop walks up to me. He sees me. He has a camera on his body. His body camera is recording our interaction. Fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
But that's an interaction with a human being that is being monitored for both of our safeties. It's a whole different level when there is no human being as part of the interaction. It's just me. That's where I draw the line. And that's why I have a hard time with this whole fucking thing. There's a whole bunch of lawsuits with the flock system.
Yeah, I've seen some cities
crazy
going away from them.
Crazy story about a school bus camera system.
I don't know if I've seen that.
There's a company that has created a school bus camera system, and honestly,
I think I've heard of some that are trying to catch people that
run the
blow
stop sign.
past the stop sign. Yeah,
and I think that's cool. I think that's legit cool. In principle,
oftentimes those people aren't caught unless there's a cop in the school zone that happens to see it.
In principle, it's cool, but in practice, it's the same as the flock system and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
it's a data collection. It's once we start linking all these things together, which I'm not even going to pretend to say anybody's actually trying to do, but it is okay. It is okay for you to say, I understand that all the players involved might be legitimately altruistic in what they're trying to do. But I see the potential for this being abused badly, and maybe we need to talk about that before we let all these altruistic players out onto the market.
Yeah. So I saw something crazy about Atlanta has more cameras in the city than New York and LA combined.
Not surprised. Hey, but what's funny about
it was like the most cameraed city, like outside of China.
And my point, the point to me of this WVLT article looking up the screen right now is that it's okay. Like, if you're right, I think you might be right, because the ring systems and stuff like that, any of the cloud-based systems can't link into the real-time crime thing. They're just building a database. Okay, that's fine. But the crazy thing to me is that they are trying that this is a way for the state to build a network without having to pay for the network.
Yeah.
Because the commercial one is real. Like, my camera on my in front of my house, I can volunteer that they can contact me if they want to ask about it. That's what the program is here. My camera on the front of my business, if it's in the right format, can be hard linked into. If I have a camera on the outside of my business that is facing into the public, I can hard link that into their system.
Huh.
That is real. I know that is real.
Just because it's not a cloud-based system or something? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
But I could. If I could, like, businesses can opt in. So, for example, our Market Square camera that WVLT owns. I'm going to bet you $20 right now that WVLT has given access to KPD to have that camera. If KPD doesn't have their own camera down there already anyway.
Right.
And even if KPD does have their own camera down there anyway, I bet you VLT has given them access as well.
I don't know whose camera that is. It may just be a city camera.
I think it's VLT's camera. It might be at BIR's. It's one of the news station's cameras.
Think so?
I'm pretty sure. But anyway, whoever owns the camera, I'll bet you, has signed up, and that's hard linked. And so, if you're in Market Square right now, there's an officer in the public safety complex in the old St. Mary's site that's sitting in a room, and somewhere on all the screens in that room is a picture of you right now. Whenever you're listening to this, whatever time of day it is.
Yeah.
Now, is that person looking at you? Are you doing anything that might be concerning to them? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. The reality is, it's there. Whether you like it or not. We have an option on this. We can activate as a citizenry and say, no, we're not okay with this. But you're going to get gaslit into this whole, well, if you're doing nothing wrong,
Yeah.
So remember who gets to choose whether what you're doing is wrong or not. Because unless you're, I don't know, a couple dozen people that are either in the city or county government, you're not one of those people. You don't get to choose. They get to choose whether or not what you're doing is right or wrong. So anyway, that's a good note to end the show on. So fuck you, camera system.
You want to talk about explosive diarrhea?
Oh, man. Like I said, I could do a whole other episode. We can stop right now. We can stop right now. I could set this episode aside. I could work it out. I can release it tomorrow on normal time, and then we can start recording again. And I could do a whole 2 hours on the surveillance bullshit. It's fucking crazy to me. We deserve the government we have. 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 You brought this upon yourselves. Put up or shut up? I don't know. Like, there's so many phrases to put out here right now. I'm trying, people. If you want to try with me, come on. Make me the enemy. I'll be the face of the resistance, whatever you want to call it. I will just put Muse on. I will just have a fat playlist of Muse and Rage Against the Machine, and we'll go nuts. Let's do it. Almost Agreement, Chipman.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go to the website, almostagreement.com. Check out what we're going on there. We are going to be back next week with more of me ranting about shit that I hate. So, Almost Agreement, Chipman.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Share your episodes with friends. Do what you can do to support the show. We are here for you. Oh, yeah, vote. That works, too.